Right, more on that Herald's Bay Cliff tragedy in a moment, but before that, let me take you live to the Western Cape in an attempt to fight alcohol abuse and gender-based violence. Stellenbosch University has temporarily banned alcohol in its residence, but not everyone is happy. Some students have started a petition to protest against the action. They say that it makes life unbearable. Let's talk now to SRC leader Wazi Pakade. Good evening to you and welcome. Are you upset about the decision or about the fact that you weren't consulted?
Look, what we are mostly upset about is the fact that we are not consulted by the university. There's been no wide consultation on the issue, and we think that it is very wrong for the university to just take a decision that concerns students without consulting the leaders of its student body.
But had you been consulted then, had you, as you claim, been consulted properly, would you support the decision?
Look, I think what we must first recognize, because we've got few reservations even about the decision to ban alcohol on the basis that you believe that alcohol causes gender-based violence and that alcohol causes rape. You know, we think that that argument in itself does not hold water, because you cannot claim that alcohol causes these issues, but you are not actually dealing with toxic masculinity, and you are not dealing with the residences and how they promote toxic masculinity in the culture of the residences.
I certainly agree with you that a broader approach would need to be taken when it comes to tackling gender-based violence, particularly toxic masculinity, as you suggest. But the other reason that the university is giving is that there is simply a massive problem with alcohol abuse on campus.
Look, I think what the university is not being honest with generally when they're discussing this issue about alcohol. First of all, for the longest of time in Stellenbosch, we have been telling the university that there is an entrenched alcohol abuse culture in white male residences within the university. That every activity during orientation has to involve alcohol, and that has a bad impact on our first years, you know, and how the university generally moves forward, because you introduce these students into alcohol, and by the time they finish, they are used to this culture because it's part of their residence culture. Because in most residences, for the longest of time,
all right. So if we to extrapolate your argument, then, and there is a problem within the residences, surely any measure. Let me finish. Let me finish. Any measure that is taken to curb the problem should be welcomed.
Look, no. The university is not being honest with the fact that in the residences, especially the junior residences, the male residences, there is a problem of alcohol abuse. There is a problem of every activity revolving around the use of alcohol. And the question is, why are we not dealing with this and also deal with it in a consulted? Because now what we are saying is that you are going to have a problem whereby students are resistant to this. Who is going to enforce this? Because you did not consult anyone.
So how then do you believe this problem of alcohol abuse on campus, particularly among first years, should be tackled? We don't subscribe to this thing of just putting rules and thinking that people are going to follow them. You've already said that. My question to you is how you're going to deal with it.
It renders the decisions of the university very useless, that everyone now will think that the university can just pronounce on a policy, it is not followed up, and then students can just disobey that. You know, it creates a culture of disobedience. We are saying that the university, there's nothing wrong for the university to start engaging in conversations with students about alcohol abuse, and not to just shove a decision down our throats. That does not make sense, and that is incorrect.
So you would like the university to start a conversation with the student body. With what objective? What would you like to achieve from those conversations?
You cannot begin a conversation after you have banned what we are discussing. Otherwise, what is it that what you must discuss?
So, is there any move? Is there any move to discuss this issue?
Negotiations. You are not entering into anything fair if we are going to impose a decision and then you say, okay, let's go. And
Mr. Pakada, I think you've made your point that you're not happy because you haven't been consulted. You need to engage with the university. Have any overtures then? I understand that. Have any overtures that have been made either by the students or by the university to begin this consultative process?
Look, today we met with the university management. As the SRC, we met with the university management, and we expressed our concerns around the implementation of this temporary ban. And from there on, we told them that we are going to move with students, and we are going to tell students that we reject this thing. The university must engage first in conversations with the general student body.
I just want to ask you one final question. This decree has therefore come down from the university. Right now, as we speak, is this being implemented and monitored?
Look, it's not being monitored, but a lot of students are very worried that many of the events that are around campus that students have during orientation are going to be affected. So it has not been enforced as of now. But we do think that the university is going to try and enforce it, especially with events around campus. But the SRC is going to release a statement tomorrow morning to warn the university against this decision that they have taken.
All right, well, we look forward to reading that statement and also to engaging further with Stellenbosch University. Thank you very much for joining us.